I made a horrible prank on my brother's wedding day. Now not only is their cake ruined, but also their marriage. He threatened to sue me. Growing up, my brother and I would play pranks on each other. I say each other. He would prank me, relentlessly. Any of you who are younger siblings will know that there will be that one particular moment, that often comes up even as you get older, that hey, remember when, story they'll retell to cackle at something devilish they did to you as a child. Grandpa was an amazing baker, and he made me a batch of cookies for my birthday which he'd sealed in an airtight glass box for me. I don't know how or when, but my brother got a hold of this box and proceeded to fart in it, then sealed it back up. On my birthday he handed me the cookie box and said, "Grandpa, put some extra stank into this batch." I didn't know what he meant at the time, and I was too excited to try what looked like delicious cookies. I opened the glass lid and got blasted in the face by the stench of stale butt, then immediately threw up in the jar, all over the cookies. A tale my brother has told repeatedly, to his delight since. Fast forward to now, my brother's wedding day. This wasn't a thought-out plan. I hadn't been scheming over it. It was a spur of the moment. My brother had refolded the story yet again at his bachelor party 3 days prior to embarrass me, and I guess the story was just fresh in my mind. The ceremony is over, all went well, and on to the reception. They're posing for photos before cutting the cake, and I don't know why it came to me, but I just leaned over to my brother as his wife was about to take a bite and said, "I put some extra stank into the cake." I thought he'd laugh. He did not. With the reflexes of a mother leaping across to rescue her newborn from something dangerous, he slapped the cake out of her hands. There were some gasps and some laughs. No one really knew what was going on, me included. He whispered in her ear. She looked me in the eyes for a good 5 to 10 seconds. Then, she just started to cry. She runs off. Everyone is confused, and then my brother confronts me. He thought I did something in the cake as revenge for the cookies. I told him I didn't, and it was just a dumb joke, but he was too mad to listen. She said her bridesmaids I did a poop in the cake. Sure enough, soon everyone thinks I poop in the cake. I was too embarrassed to protest, so I just went home. It's been a week and I've not spoken to them, and I keep feeling guilty, even though I didn't actually do anything. Updated, I made a poorly timed joke during my brother's wedding reception as a spin-off of a practical joke he played on me. No one was amused, and I was accused of doing something disgusting. I texted my brother to come to my house after work so we could talk, and he bluntly accepted. We didn't really get to talk though because as soon as he pulled up in his car, he started yelling at me on the driveway. It turns out my prank effed things up more than I realized. After I left the wedding reception with my tail between my legs, they got into some kind of argument and didn't even go on their honeymoon, for which he blamed me. I tried defending myself here. How would I do this? Is the baker in on it with me? Did I pull off some elaborate ruse to get access to the fully formed cake to poop in it? He wasn't having any of it, though. He says he knows I poop in it, and he's going to get the cake forensically tested to prove it. He's even threatening legal action. Eventually, my wife had to intervene at the shouting match on our doorstep as he was getting increasingly aggressive, and she was worried he might get violent. She got rid of him, and I just went back inside to try to process it all. I got in touch with his wife a few hours later as my wife made me realize that even though my brother may be an asshole, her big day was definitely soiled by my actions, and that wasn't fair. Thankfully, she seems a lot more forgiving than him. We spoke on the phone for a while, and she knew the truth about the cookies, which is why she believed him when he said I poop in the cake, but as they argued through the night she realized that I was innocent. I didn't want to pry, but it sounded like there had been relationship problems in the lead up to the marriage anyway, and his overreaction was just the tipping point. She's moved out and is staying with her parents now, and I suppose my brother finds it easier to pin the blame for their problems on me than reflect on his own behavior. I brought up my brother's claim about testing the cake and she actually laughed, which reassured me that he's the only one thinking about such desperate measures. In conclusion, I may have been ruled not the asshole, but my actions have ruined a marriage. She's moving out, my brother is lawyering up, they're getting an annulment and I may, or may not, receive a subpoena asking me to poo in a box.